Have you ever heard the famous question to be or not to be and felt curious about why such a short sentence can feel so big, so dramatic, and so powerful if it carries 1,000 thoughts hiding behind just a few simple words? This question is not really about pretending to be a ghost on a stage, but about wondering what it means to exist, to choose, and to keep going even when life feels confusing, heavy, or full of unexpected twists. To be means waking up each day and stepping into the world as yourself, with your thoughts, feelings, hopes, worries, mistakes, and dreams all bundled together like a backpack you carry everywhere. To not be sounds scary at first, because it makes people think about disappearing, stopping, or giving up, which is why philosophers talk about it carefully and gently, especially when thinking about kids and growing minds. The real heart of the question is not about choosing life or nothingness, but about how we live, why we live, and what kind of person we decide to be along the way. Every day, without noticing, you face tiny versions of this question when you choose whether to speak up or stay quiet, whether to try or quit, whether to be kind or mean. In those small moments, being yourself means acting even when you are nervous, unsure, or afraid of getting things wrong. Not being yourself can mean hiding, pretending, or shrinking because you are worried about what others might think. Philosophers noticed long ago that humans are strange because we can think about our own existence while still existing, which is like trying to read a book while also being one of the characters inside it. That ability makes life richer and more confusing at the same time. Some thinkers believe that being is not just about breathing and moving, but about being aware, caring, and choosing with intention. Others argue that simply existing is already enough, and that meaning grows naturally from living, loving, and learning. For kids, this question often shows up as wondering who they are, what they are good at, and whether they truly matter in a very big world. To be is to matter, even on days when nothing feels special and everything seems ordinary. Your presence changes the world in small ways because conversations, friendships, and moments would be different if you were not there. Choosing to be also means choosing to grow, even when growing feels awkward, uncomfortable, or slow. Life does not ask you to be perfect, but it does invite you to be present. When Shakespeare wrote the famous question, he was thinking about struggle, fear, and doubt, which are feelings humans have carried for centuries. Even kids feel them sometimes, especially when facing pressure, expectations, or big changes. Philosophy steps in not to give easy answers, but to help us sit with hard questions without running away. Being brave does not mean never feeling scared, but continuing to exist fully even when fear whispers loudly. Not being is sometimes a fantasy people imagine when life feels overwhelming, like wishing you could pause the game instead of playing the level. Philosophers remind us that feeling overwhelmed does not mean life has lost value, but that support, rest, and understanding are needed. The question to be or not to be gently pushes us to ask how we want to face problems, not whether problems should exist at all. Every choice adds a sentence to the story of who you are becoming. Being yourself does not require grand speeches, heroic acts, or dramatic moments. Sometimes being is simply showing up, breathing, listening, and trying again. Existence is not a test you pass or fail, but an experience you move through. Kids often understand this better than adults because they live in moments instead of worrying about the whole future at once. To be playful, curious, and open is already a powerful form of being. When you think deeply about existence, it does not mean you stop enjoying fun things like games, jokes, or snacks. Philosophy and fun can sit at the same table without arguing. Asking big questions does not make life heavier, but can make it richer and more meaningful. To be is to keep asking, wondering, and learning, even when answers change over time. You are allowed to change because being is not frozen in place. Not being fixed means you can grow into new ideas, new strengths, and new understandings. Every human answers the question differently, not with words, but with actions and choices. For kids, the answer often sounds like learning, playing, caring, and dreaming. If life ever feels confusing, Remember that the question itself is proof that you are thinking, alive, and aware. And as long as you are wondering, choosing, and moving forward, you are already answering the question in the most human way possible.